Hey everyone, Jake here from Made for the Range, back on the Made for Range YouTube channel with an exclusive new look at Toulon's brand new 2025 collection. Really cool to be able to do this again this year. It's the same thing we did last year. Looking at the entire lineup, so we're gonna try to go through this, show you guys what's new, what's different compared to the 2024 lineup, as well as what I'm really excited about because there's a couple putters in here that I think are gonna be really, really cool this year. So the first thing you're gonna notice with the entire lineup is that everything has been softened up. So if I pick up one of the brand new Alcatrazes, it's very similar in shape and the 5 returning shapes are gonna be the same way, but everything is just softened up a little bit. So they've rounded those top lines. They've done a lot of work to the hosels to kind of streamline them and round off those edges, make them a little less angular, make them a little less linear. And then we also have a brand new finish here in what they're calling Anthrocite. It's sort of a deep charcoal, and then they've got accents in what they're saying is heritage blue, as well as Italian racing red. So really cool new visuals, very soft, very visually appealing. And then a bunch of the stuff that's changing from 24 into 25 has to do with the individual shapes and what's being offered within those shapes. So starting with the blades, I'm a little bit sad because they've only moved to 3 blades this year. We do have the introduction of a new one, which is the Hollywood, as well as the return of the Austin and the New York City. I think the new New York City in particular looks really, really fantastic. The way that they've refined the styling and made that a little bit smoother with that softer new finish looks really, really pleasing to the eye. And that's the only one that has that H1.5 neck as well. So it's a little bit taller of a neck that compensates proportionally for the design of the New York City being a little bit wider in kind of that double wide format compared to the other blades. Back to the Hollywood, I think this is my favorite blade this year, partially just because of the sight dot. I'm a big sight dot person. That's why I loved the Austin last year. And then that tri-sole design is really cool, very historic. Some very well-known players have played tri-sole blades. So really cool for them to add this into it after so much success with the limited edition Carbon Proto series that I covered a little bit back. Moving on, we have a brand new redefined category for mid-mallets. So we have the return of the Atlanta from last year, which is one of Toulon's most popular shapes on tour. It has a ton of wins on tour, and the new one has been enlarged just a little bit. So the footprint is very similar, the shape is very similar with that new softened styling, but it's just gonna give you a little bit more forgiveness because everybody is searching for that, trying to move away from the blades and into a mallet where the mid-mallet cross-section does a really good job of appeasing those people on both sides until they probably eventually move into a full-sized mallet. That one this year is available in a plumber's neck as well as a double bend, which is also really cool because last year it was only available in that 4.5 slant neck. Moving on to some other mid-mallets this year, we've got a brand new ear-shaped mid-mallet called the Charleston. This is not necessarily the replacement for the Memphis, but for those of you that liked that shape and you like that round, flowy kind of attribute for a putter, you're really gonna love the Charleston. I think this one is much more refined. It's a little bit leaning more towards the blade players feel than the mallet players, which is a really, really great attribute for something of this size. It takes a lot of cues from what they used to have in the Madison with the way that those bumpers kind of flow into each other, but again, it's curved off and it's got that ear-shaped sort of styling there. This one also has a sight dot, so it gets a little nod from me. Available in an H7 flow as well. And while we're on the H7 flow, not to jump around too much, I do want to talk about the brand new Las Vegas. This one has been updated this year. You're going to notice it takes a lot of style cues from the Toulon putter that Xander Schauffele uses on tour, which is something that they released in a limited edition last year. It was super, super popular, sold out very quick. You guys saw that I grabbed one of those real fast, but the new one is really, really amazing because you're going to be able to take that styling and that performance that won 2 majors last year and bring it home for you. And then if you want to take it with the H7 flow neck, it's a really, really unique way to design a Fang style mallet, having that much toe hang available. But again, the Fang style stuff is usually a really, really good cross section for blade players that are trying to move over into a mallet design because it gives you a very blade-like CG and kind of forward roll control with all the attributes that you like out of the control from a blade, but with the forgiveness and the overall footprint of a mallet shape. Jumping back into the last mid-mallet would be the new Alcatraz Mini. So I think this is the one that I want to build up right away. I built an Alcatraz last year. and just never ended up getting along with the mallet shape. But having that same sort of alignment feature in the back with that window there for perpendicular alignment is really, really awesome to see. It's also got a very simple sight line on the top line, so nothing protruding on the flange that kind of gets visually in the way, in my opinion. And then, of course, you're gonna notice that it's just a shrunken version of the Alcatraz, but what they've done is they've kept the blade length relatively similar to keep that MOI number high and make sure that it's still performing the way that you would expect out of something like the Alcatraz shape. Using that to move into the mallet category, obviously I started talking about the Alcatraz. For 2025, the Alcatraz is extremely similar to last year's. They've done a little bit of softening, just like they have with everything else, and then they moved from a 3-dot alignment system on the top line to a sight line, which is a little bit more basic. I didn't think I was gonna love that at first, but I actually really do like how basic that sight line is. Again, it takes the visual and lets you focus on the golf ball and that perpendicular alignment in the back with a slightly larger window than the 2024 model had, which is really cool to see. It's also just ever so slightly shallower of a face, which a lot of better players prefer just because it allows them to kind of control that angle of attack just a little bit more on that putting stroke. The last of the mallets here are the brand new ones for 2025, and we've got a Miami and the Carlsbad. So both of these are larger mallet footprints, and they're both multi-material. There are some other multi-material in the lineup, but these ones really kind of show it off with 304 stainless steel bodies and 6061 aluminum to combine into very high MOI shapes that still throw the CG really far forward to give you that blade control, but with the largest footprints in the lineup. And then of course, we have to talk about the first ever Toulon two-ball design with their brand new Carlsbad. So they've worked with the team at Callaway and Odyssey for years and years, and they've been able to do this in sort of a partnership with them. So it's really cool to see the respect given to the family and for them to be able to do this and come out with the first version of a Toulon two-ball. It's one of the most common things that I got asked last year when the lineup came out was, are they going to have a two-ball? Because they wanted to see what Toulon's take was going to be on that concept. And they've done it here with beautiful, beautiful milled aluminum discs that actually go through the putter, and they use that as your alignment system. We all know how the two-ball system works. It's really, really good at making sure that you've actually lined that putter up to the golf ball, because obviously you're getting that symmetrical sizing to the back of the putter. So really, really cool stuff here from Toulon in 2025. Going to do a couple extra breakdowns to give you guys a look at the technology and everything behind these putters. Again, the new changes for this year are going to be that new face milling with the deep tuna, and then you got that new finish with the anthracite, the heritage blue accents, and the Italian racing red. Really cool stuff from the team over at Toulon. Thank you for letting me come here and help film this video. It's been awesome to get a look inside and have a little bit of an exclusive for you guys. So stay tuned to Made for Range YouTube channel for more. We're going to be covering a little bit more of this and then everything else as well.